Hi, first and second grade. Welcome back to Art on YouTube. And we are going to start off today with a story. And then we're going to do some fun, creative art. Today you're going to need a pencil and a piece of paper and whatever other things you want to color with. We're going to start off reading a book today called The Book of Mistakes. And this is a book that was in the art room, so you might recognize it. And I think I might have read it with one or two of your classes, but I really like it, and we're going to go ahead and revisit it today because I think it's got a really good message for us. The Book of Mistakes. It started with one mistake. Making the other eye even bigger was another mistake. But the glasses, they were a good idea. The elbow and the extra long neck, mistakes. But the collar, ruffled with patterns of lace and stripes, that was a good idea. And the elbow patches, they were a good idea too. The bush was another good idea. Dark and leafy so that you couldn't see through it. The frog, cat, cow thing, another mistake. The big space between the ground and the bottom of the girl's shoe was a little bit of a mistake too. But the roller skates, those were definitely not a mistake. The second frog, cat, cow thing made a very nice rock. And the girl with the very long leg looks like she was always meant to be climbing that tree. Even the ink smudges scattered across the sky looked as if they could be leaves, like they'd always wanted to be lifted up and carried. And what about the girl? Do you see how with each mistake she is becoming? Do you see now who she could be? And that is the end of the story. And I just love that story because I love the pictures for one thing. I love all the details that the artist put in those pictures. And I also like how this book reminds me kind of like our oops drawings that we did way back at the beginning of the year. It reminds me of how we can turn our mistakes into something amazing, right? Because in the book, it starts off with just making one of the girl's eyes too big. And at the end, it becomes this amazing, beautiful work of art, right? So what we're going to do today when we make our art is we're going to learn how to make something out of something else. Kind of like how we did when we did our oops art. So, it is time for my favorite thing. We are going to make some art first and second grade. And just like in the story, how the artist used their mistakes to make something new, we're going to start with one thing and we're going to make it into something new. And the way we're going to do that is you are going to go and find something in your house, or if you want, you can just use your hands. And we're going to trace those things and we're going to make art out of what we traced. So I have a couple things here that I found in my house. I have some scissors that I'm being very, very careful with, and I'm not opening them because I'm just going to trace them. And I'm holding them like this. And then I also have this. This is called a brayer, and it's for a kind of art that's called printmaking. But we're not going to we're not going to do printmaking today. We're going to use this to trace. And then I've just got my hand. So I'm going to do a couple different things. I'm going to trace, maybe I'll trace all of them. I haven't decided yet. I'm actually going to start with just my hand. And I'm not going to trace the whole thing. Actually, I'm only going to trace these 3 fingers. And I'm going to go around my hand very lightly. It's actually a lot harder to trace your hand than it looks. You just have to go really slow and really gently and kind of just press on the outside of your fingers. And I'm going to go around the top of that one. And I'm just going to leave that like that. Ooh, I can tell I'm going to make some cool artwork out of this. I'm going to add one more little line down here. Because that's what they did in the story, right? The author and the artist would look at things and she would say, I think I'm going to add this. I think I could make this a little bit better. Kind of like when that one big ink blot landed on the girl's head, she turned it into a hat. I thought that was so cool. So now I'm going to take this brayer and I'm going to kind of place it like that. We'll see how this one turns out. This could be kind of wacky. I'm going to just do the same thing. I'm trying to hold it really, really gently and trace it around. And like I said, it's harder than it looks, but if we learned one thing from that story, it's that it's okay to make mistakes, right? You can always make something new out of your mistakes. So I'm going to go trace around my brayer. There we go. All right, and actually, I think I might stop there for now. So what could I do with this? If you were here in front of me first and second grade, I'd ask you, what do some of these shapes look like? And I definitely think this part of my hand kind of looks like a mouth. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give it some teeth. It's going to be a mouth eating this big brayer thing. We'll give it, I'm not really sure what kind of animal or creature this is, but we'll find out. And I'm going to give it some lipstick because I'm wearing lipstick right now and I just feel like this animal maybe wants to wear some lipstick. And we'll give this animal some eyes right here. Let's see, I'm deciding how I want these eyes to look. There we go. There's the eyes. And I kind of don't like right now, so I'm having the book of mistakes moment, right? because I kind of don't like that this animal looks surprised. So I'm trying to decide. I'm going to give it a little nose hole right there. I'm just going to decide that that's their nose. Um, Maybe since the animal looks so surprised, I'll put a little butterfly here. We'll say that my little creature is looking up at this butterfly while they're eating their lunch, and they're excited to see it and also kind of surprised. So I'm going to put kind of these little surprise marks on their eye or above their eye like you would see in a cartoon. I'll give them some eyelashes. And so we got the butterfly, and I got to decide what this is because it's kind of shaped like a hot dog, maybe a little bit. So maybe my creature is eating a wacky hot dog. um, and or it could even be like a kind of boat. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll make my creature like a water creature. So we'll put some waves right here, and we'll say that this is a story about um, some wacky animal that lives in the water, and they're eating this boat, or they're coming to get this boat, but then they see this butterfly and they get distracted. And maybe the story that I'm going to make about this in my head is that they don't end up eating the boat, but they are so excited to see the butterfly that they decide they don't want to eat this boat after all. So I put this little sail on the boat, and I don't know that this boat would actually float in the water, but that's okay. This is our artwork, this is my drawing, and I can make it however I want. I can make up whatever story I want to make about it. And actually, I'm going to put, in order to make this like a real boat, I'll put a bottom on the boat right there. That works a little bit better, doesn't it? And I'll put another sail for my boat up here. We'll say that this boat is sailing along in the wind, and I kind of put these extra little, I'm going to call these party flags on this wacky boat. And we'll add a couple more butterflies, just because the butterfly we decided is coming to save the day in this picture, and stop this little sea monster from eating the boat. It's not a little sea monster, it's a really big sea monster, right? And let's see, I'll put one more sail up here on top of this boat, this crazy boat. And I'm going to speed up my camera in a little bit here while I add some more details and color in my picture. My drawing is pretty much colored in, right? I could maybe add a little bit more, but I'm not going to do that right now because I want to make sure that you remember what I always tell you when you're done. If you have extra time and you're in art class and you think you're done coloring, I always tell you to outline in black. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take our black pencil and we're going to outline. And if you don't have a black pencil, you can just outline with a regular pencil or with a pen, or even you can notice with my sails up here, I outlined them in orange because I just felt like outlining them in orange. Oops, made a little mistake there, but that's okay, right? That's what we've learned today. All right, So there we go. I've got my awesome little mistakes drawing, or my little trace drawing, that I turned into something new. So your job, first and second grade, is to find something to trace, whether that's something in your house, like my printmaking brayer, or just your own hands, or even your feet or something. You can get really, really creative and make some really fun artistic choices here. And then you're going to trace them just like I trace my hand and my printmaking brayer, and you're going to make them into some artwork. I am really, really excited to see what you make this week, first and second grade. If you finish and you want your dojo points, you can either email it to me or have someone you live with at home send it to me in a dojo message, or you can reply to the post on Microsoft Teams under your class, under Visual Arts. All right, my dears. I look forward to seeing your artwork this week, and I hope you have a safe and healthy week. Bye-bye.